Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Marcus. Today we're digging into what's been pushing the cannabis story into the headlines. From state tax cash hitting municipal coffers to record medical sales and some important federal policy moves. My guest is Jessica, who tracks the sector and helps translate policy into what it means for investors. Remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks, Marcus. Great to be here.
Quick housekeeping. The U.S. markets are closed today. The last trading day was Friday, January 23rd, and markets reopened Monday, January 26th. We'll talk about developments that happened over the weekend, but we won't treat them as intraday market moves.
Good point. A lot of the news this weekend is policy and state-level results, which matter for the trajectory of the industry even when markets aren't trading.
Let's start with Ohio. Officials began sending out the 10% cannabis excise tax receipts to cities and towns that host dispensaries. That was a milestone because earlier there were reports that nearly $11 million had been held back. Jessica, why does this matter?
It matters on two levels. One, local governments getting recurring revenue reduces political risk for operators. If city councils see steady cash flowing in, they're less likely to roll back approvals. Two, predictable tax receipts are a demand signal to retailers and producers. It helps them plan inventory and local expansion. Also, how municipalities spend that money can create business opportunities, like contracts for local services or infrastructure that benefit regional operators.
So it's not an immediate sales boom, but it improves the operating environment.
Exactly. Think of it as a stability signal. Execution at the local level still matters, but this reduces a key political overhang.
Switching gears to Arkansas, medical cannabis sales hit $291 million in 2025, topping the prior high of $283 million set in 2023 and running about $15 million higher than 2024. That sounds like steady demand. What does that tell us?
It shows the medical channel still has room to grow in some states. Sustained year over year, gains like that suggest patient adoption, improved distribution, or better product availability. For producers and retailers, it bolsters the argument that state markets can expand profitability. But investors should ask if Arkansas is unique or replicable elsewhere. Regulatory differences and patient access vary by state.
Now to federal policy. There's bipartisan language introduced to give the Food and Drug Administration more authority over hemp, which could open a path for cannabidiol to be considered for Medicare coverage. And there's ongoing legal analysis around a presidential rescheduling directive that emphasized medical cannabis. Jessica, break that down for listeners. What's the likely impact and timeline?
These are incremental but potentially meaningful moves. If the FDA takes clearer authority over hemp and rules that allow certain cannabidiol products to meet safety and efficacy standards, we could eventually see broader clinical acceptance and reimbursement pathways, like Medicare. That could increase demand for regulated products, but timing is uncertain. Federal rulemaking and congressional action take months, sometimes years, and rescheduling language that focuses only on medical use leaves ambiguity around banking and interstate commerce. Those issues need implementing regulations or separate legislative fixes.
So investors should be hopeful but realistic. Policy momentum, not a quick fix.
Correct. Track the rulemaking calendar closely and look for concrete guidance from the FDA and hearings in Congress. Those are the events that actually change the commercial picture.
A fun but relevant piece of the story is cultural mainstreaming. Viral moments and creators are keeping cannabis in the public conversation. How much does that move the needle for companies?
Celebrity visibility helps destigmatize use and can increase brand awareness, which is useful for retail traffic and product launches. But awareness only converts to revenue if companies have disciplined distribution, compliant marketing, and enough retail footprint. There's also reputational and compliance risk. High-profile promotions can draw regulatory scrutiny, so balance matters.
Before markets reopen Monday, what should listeners watch for that could change positioning?
Key catalysts: any FDA steps on hemp regulation or congressional movement on cannabidiol and Medicare, legal clarifications about the rescheduling directive, how Ohio local governments actually use that newly received revenue, and upcoming state sales reports and company fourth quarter and January filings. Also watch flows into the large cannabis ETF MSOS and major operators like Truliev, Green Thumb, Curaleaf, and Tilray. Policy headlines often spur quick repositioning once markets are open.
Practical portfolio advice?
Stay selective. Favor companies that can convert brand awareness into retail presence and comply with regulations. Time exposure around policy clarity and earnings, and keep some dry powder for volatility after headline-driven moves.
Great. Let's wrap with a few quick takeaways.
Sure.
If you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai.